Kevin McCullough. That's a view of the Statue of Liberty if you're watching on AFA, the AFA channel. It's AFA Today on AFR Talk, and always glad you're with us. We try to do something very simple. We want to obliterate confusion. We want to amplify truth. We want to pursue clarity. We want to do it consistently. Kevin McCullough's my name, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840, and we're talking about a couple of different stories, but Rand Paul on abortion yesterday said, it's my personal belief, but to change the law, we're going to have to get a consensus and do a focus group, and yeah. So I've rolled that into the conversation, and then there's this just, it's like a horror monster story, only it's real. We are incinerating babies in Oregon so that Oregonians can have more electricity. That was confirmed yesterday by multiple sources, and it is just one of the most disgusting, sickest things I've ever seen. The power facility located in Brooks, Oregon, just off I-5, burns waste in two massive boilers at a temperature of about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat transfers into water tubes, which create steam to drive turbines. The turbines generate electricity. A 2007 article about the Marion waste-to-energy facility that appeared in the Willamette Live Oregonian newspaper, ironically titled Burn Baby Burn, stated that at the time the incinerator burned about 800 tons of medical waste per year. That's about 1,764,000 pounds. And here's what's in medical waste. Cancerous tissue, amputated limbs, and fetal tissue. That last part is babies, in case you were confused about what fetal tissue is. Speaking of babies, this story came to my attention yesterday. 3 married lesbians from... Wait, what? Huh? Because we were told if you change the law that we're not going to get all, freaky-deaky out there. It's going to stay just, 2 people at a time. Because I had debates on Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and PBS and all the rest. I had these debates where I would go on and say, if you just randomly change the definition of marriage, there's going to be other groups that are going to say, well, you're leaving us out and we were born that way. And so we've got to be our Lady Gaga. We were born that way. So we got to have our laws changed to reflect who we are too. Bigamists and polygamists and people that marry their cousins and, all kinds of other things. So I go back to my news story. 3 married lesbian... What? 3 Massachusetts married lesbians are expecting their first child. I give up. Did somebody change the science rules? I don't know how that even happens. First of all, I was told if we change the law, there won't be any polygamy in there. And then, now that there's polygamy in there, one of them ends up pregnant. Try this again. Maybe it's just the wording. Maybe I have ADD. Maybe it's all jumbled up on my paper. We'll try it one more time. 3 married lesbians from Massachusetts are expecting their first child. No, it was what I thought it was. Bryn, Doll, and Kitten, young. Oh, really? Were they born with those names? Come on. Bryn, Doll, and Kitten, and their last name is all young, who claim to be the only throuple in the world. Now we're making up words. They are expecting a daughter in what? In July. Bryn is 34, Doll is 30, and they met on an online dating site. They had been together for 2.5 years, and then they added Kitten to their relationship. All 3 women married in August of 2013 when each of their fathers, hear this, when each of their fathers walked them down the aisle wearing white wedding gowns and exchanging rings. Well, at least I figured out part of the problem. Dad didn't know what he was doing. So there's your word, kids. Thruple. Use that in a sentence today. Because 3 married lesbians are expecting their first child. I quit. It's just somebody. They're always changing the rules on me. I get it. I figure out language and science, and I work on it, and I try to learn it, try to be a good student, and I just come in. It's in one news story. They're making up new words and everything else. We're burning our kids in incinerators in Oregon, and Rand Paul goes, well, I'm personally this, but, we can't consensus, until we get a majority of people that, comb their hair the same way I do, we're not going to be able to change that law. 888-589-8840. Let's talk to David in Arizona. It is the Day of Davids around here. Hi, David. Welcome.
I tell you, you can't swing a cat without hitting a Dave, I guess.
Not today.
That story that you just told about the lesbians, man, what a deal that is. But I want to get back to the abortion thing. They're talking about getting a consensus. How many babies are going to die, in the meantime? And what consensus? If I was the last guy on the planet, I'd still be screaming this out. And
right.
most of these guys in Washington, the only thing they care about is getting reelected, and they'll compromise in any way they need to stay in that office.
David, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We've been accepting the premise of the other side for too long. And so when the very first David called in today, and he said, hey, you got to chill out. You can't be all upset about this. You got to play it cool and then, hide what you really believe. And none of that made sense to me.
No.
Kind of like 3 lesbians getting married. It just doesn't make sense to me. But here's the thing. As long as we keep playing the game by those rules, we'll keep losing and we will lose big. What we need for the standard bearer, and if you're going to run for president, you're going to be the standard bearer. You can be a fine senator, stay there from Kentucky. If Kentucky likes you and you're not making a total disaster of things, I'm fine leaving you in the Senate. But if you're going to run for the top office in the land and you're going to say, I'm willing to define the future of the morality of America and the character of this nation by putting it on my shoulders and taking it across the next series of challenges that it has, then my goodness, I want to know that your character counts for something.
Yeah, I hear you.
And here's the problem. If we keep saying, well, these are my values, but there's something else that comes in front of it. Here's the truth. You don't have those values. That's the truth. So if you're someone and you're saying, well, we got to vote for a man because of his race or because he's going to give out free phones or he's going to give EBT cards that people can use to play video games and go buy liquor and all kinds of other things besides food. If those things come before the birthing of a child who is innocent, who has done nothing in this life to deserve condemnation or death, is fully created in the image and by the hand of God. If we say, oh, these other things come first, but I'm with you on this, I share your... No, you don't. You don't even begin to share my values, nor the values of God. Rand Paul's running around playing a weird chess game. He's championing the cause of persecuted Christians overseas. I'm glad of that. That's good work. He put forward the bill, Life at Conception Act. That's a good bill. And by the way, why did you put the bill forward if it was a personal thing? If you don't think you can change the law, why even write the bill that tries to change the law? Here's the problem, friends. We are hiding from what we believe, and that's exactly what those who play for the enemy want us to do. There is power in speaking truth. There is power in living truth. There is power in being the truth to a world that is drowning without the truth. And there's nothing that we can do. There is nothing that we can do to hide that's in some way going to impact the culture more than demonstrating it. Where is the clear understanding that when you take confusion and you smash it into a million pieces and you get rid of it and you take truth and you shine the spotlight on it, that people understand? And we don't have to be some sort of, oh, I'm a hate monger. I don't want women to have medical procedures. We don't have to accept any of that. You don't like what they say, change the conversation. We're not against women. In fact, a lot of people that are on our team are actually trying to help women survive by ensuring that medical, surgical facilities are kept up to the same standard as those that hospitals have. But somehow expecting cleanliness and sanitation and everything else in a surgical facility makes you anti-woman? Who buys this garbage? Who lets it be said? Who lets it go unchallenged? You know who? People like Rand Paul that say this is a personal thing and I'm not going to, we don't have a consensus and I can't talk about it in public. I am so wrung out of weariness from this. And friends, this fall, we have a chance to do something. And in 2 years, we have a chance to do something else. And God help us to do the right thing. 888-589-8840. Let's go to John in Louisiana. Hey, John, welcome.
Thank you, brother. Do you believe in prayer?
Absolutely.
All right. Then I suggest that we pray for Rand Paul and for the rest of the people in Congress and the Senate and ask God to have a to do or to bring them to their senses or to do His will.
Okay. And when we've prayed, what do we do then?
We let him take over.
Oh, so we don't do anything else?
Well, no, we
don't ask people to be accountable. We don't try to get the truth out of them, and we don't try to help them understand what truth is. We don't use the influence we have to perpetuate what God's understanding of truth is. Fold our hands and let us pray. And when we are done praying, we will sit in the corner and hope that God does something. Is that what He wants us to do? Will that help train our children to think more clearly? Will that help them become a generation that will go into the culture and in the society and stand on truth? I'm not judging anybody. I'm just asking the question. 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. Terry's in Texas. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm pretty fired up today.
I noticed. I've been trying to get you for about the last 30 minutes. I finally got through because I was really upset with what David from, I believe it was North Carolina, had to say.
Yes.
Because it harkens back. Basically, his justification for his position was we can say whatever we want as long as we get in. Hasn't that been tried before by the current president? Didn't he tell us certain things that are now 180 degrees out of phase from what he actually promised before he got in?
Well, not only that, he kept calling me, an ultra-conservative, right-wing, whatever, implying that I'm kind of like a whack job. And the truth is, we have to become better articulators of what we believe. And when they throw, a fastball at us saying, hey, you're a whack job, we ask the question, who's more wacky? The person that doesn't tell you the truth and kills innocent children, or the person that draws attention to the fact that you're killing the innocent children? Who's more wacky?
Yeah, exactly.
Like we don't pivot. We don't think on our feet very well. And that's something that we've got to get a lot better at. And the problem here, and it's a huge problem, 888-589-8840. It's a huge problem. We've got all these consultants that are in D.C. and New York, and they get on the train and they go from one city to the other, and they go back and forth, and they're in between the creative agencies, and they're down in the Capitol, and they're back, and they're coming up with these ideas, and they're like, and then anytime that you get anywhere close to transparency, you say, well, what about that? Oh. Well, we didn't focus group that. We got to better find out what the answer is. No. I want to know what he believes. Oh, well, he has a personal opinion, but that doesn't mean that's what he would act on. Mitt Romney, this is how simple it could have been for Mitt Romney. Even though he started gay marriage in Massachusetts. He could have had one Chick-fil-A sandwich on one day. When Governor Huckabee had called the nation to stand for the enterprise of free market business and the right to have independent belief about your own faith, when Governor Huckabee issued that challenge, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people went to Chick-fil-A restaurants all over this country and sold the franchises out of all the food they had on hand. Some stores had to shut down midday. They had run out of food so fast. There's never been a single selling of that much food by any one food service company in the history of the world. And when somebody asked Governor Romney, "Do you think you should go have a chicken sandwich?" "Oh, we're not gonna get into that." And then he ended up losing an election in which the incumbent won re-election, never done historically, with 9 million fewer votes than he had before. That's the city of Chicago. The whole city of Chicago fewer than he had before. And he lost. You know how badly the base had to be depressed not to turn out to help him? Here's the point, friends. Obliterate confusion, amplify truth, pursue clarity. Say what you mean what you say. Be people of integrity. Live it in front of your kids. Live it for yourself and for your God this day. You will like everything about life better when you do. I'm Kevin McCullough. This is AFA Today on AFR Talk. Of course, the Silver Fox, Brian Fisher, and Focal Point is straight ahead. And we'll see you tomorrow right here